Hello and welcome to Chocolate and Cheese. My name is Dom and with me I have the master chef of Japan, that is Lou. Hello Lou, I'm so glad that you're back with us. It's Monday the 9th of March. You've been a bit unwell on Friday, couldn't join the show, but I'm glad to see you back again. Now, today we will make tiramisu, very sexy tiramisu. Now, first things first, what do we need for the tiramisu? I think we need some eggs. Yeah, I think we need about 4 to 5 eggs. Then how much sugar do we need?
3 tablespoons.
About 3 tablespoons of sugar. Then we need 200 grams of mascarpone cheese. That's quite important. You can get them just in a little container like that. Yeah. I think it was 200 grams, you know, but whatever is available. I think it was 250 grams of mascarpone cheese. Then you need espresso. You should maybe have about a cup of espresso. If you don't have espresso at home, you can also make very strong coffee. You also need a little bit of amaretto. If you don't like alcohol or if you can't take it, and you can always just use. You can either just not use it, or you can just use the essence, you know, like the kind of stuff that you use for baking. You can also whack that in there. If you use the actual real amaretto, it's about 3 tablespoons. You put into your 1 cup of espresso. Now this is important because you will need that to dunk in your ladyfingers. Now, obviously, you need ladyfingers for tiramisu, which is just some kind of like a shortbread biscuit. And for this recipe, which is for about 4 people or for 2 very hungry people, we need about, I think we calculated it before, about 40 ladyfingers for a really, really big portion of tiramisu. Now, if you just want to try it out, just go for everything that I just said, just divide it by 2. We're making a big tiramisu. It should be enough for about 4 people. And I can see Lou now cracking 2 eggs. She's actually dividing the egg yolks. She's separating the egg yolks from the white parts, and she's actually throwing away the white stuff. So we only require the egg yolks. She's just...
some people use white bits.
Okay. She's actually now on the 3rd egg. So how many eggs do we need in total?
If it's large, I think 3 to 4.
Okay, so we need about...
It's quite small.
Okay.
So I'm using 5 today.
All right, okay. So about 4 eggs, up to 5 for a big portion of tiramisu, which will be enough for at least 4 people, I would actually say. And if it's only 2 of you guys, well, it will just last longer for you, or you can just really pick out and eat as much as you possibly can.
We normally like to eat Saturday morning.
Yes, yeah, I mean, we preferably eat this kind of stuff as breakfast on a Saturday. But obviously, since it is Monday today, oops, I think we almost messed up our schedule there. But anyway, it is Monday the 9th. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, so we're finishing off the eggs now. This is quite important. Now, Lou, just one more question. Is it absolutely necessary to be naked because you're not wearing any pants today?
That's the dress code.
Okay, that's dress code. It's fine. You can do that in the nude. You don't have to. Wear whatever you feel comfortable with.
No, I'm wearing properly.
Yeah, so she says. So she says. Okay, so we're done with the eggs now. What is the next step in the preparation of our wonderful tiramisu?
Sugar.
Sugar. We now need some sugar. Any?
But before sugar, I'm gonna heat up the hot water.
Okay, so we also need to heat up some water. Okay, that's quite important. How much water are you preparing then?
It's just I want it to warm up.
All right. Okay,
so
she's preparing.
It's not really a lot.
That's right. She's preparing a water bath really for the eggs.
Just the steam.
Yes. Now, basically, what you want to do is, since you are not cooking tiramisu, since it is all made, you know, just like that without actually cooking it, it is important to kind of treat the eggs with enough temperature to kind of kill off potential germs. I mean, you don't want to get salmonella poisoning, absolutely. That's why she's creating a water bath. So you basically pour a little bit of water into a pot, and then you use a different pot, a plastic bowl, for example. You put the eggs in there, then you add some sugar, and you mix that all together, and that mixture is then being constantly stirred while in the hot bath. Okay, so the bowl is just in that pot which contains the water. Okay, How much sugar did you just put into the eggs? 3 tablespoons? Okay, so you have your 4 to 5 eggs roughly, and then you put 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then you mix that all together in your bowl, a plastic bowl, and then you put the whole thing into the saucepan, which has a bit of water in there, and that's really just to treat the egg mixture to kill potential germs. That's really the reason why you do that.
That's why I don't. Some people use white parts of egg.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
But I just avoid that.
Okay.
Jams. So
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. I mean, we usually have the tiramisu just with the yellow, with the egg yolks. So that's absolutely fine.
I'm just a bit scared.
Yeah. But I mean, it is very advisable to do the heat treatment really. Unless, I mean, if you are lucky enough and you know a farmer and you can get your eggs super fresh, you probably don't need this heat treatment. But to be on the safe side, why not just? I mean, just make sure that you don't actually cook the stuff. That's quite important. So you need to, while you're treating them with the heat, you need to constantly stir. That's quite important to make really sure this doesn't actually curdle, because otherwise you end up with scrambled eggs. Absolutely. Okay, fantastic. Now, can I just say the advantage of listening to a podcast, rather than following a recipe book or maybe even watching a video on maybe, for example, YouTube, is that you can just listen to this. You're not distracted. You can totally concentrate on what you're doing, and you might just be listening to this podcast. I mean, maybe even using headphones. And then just listen to whatever is being said. I think that's quite advantageous. Now, Lou at the same time is actually preparing some espresso. This would be quite useful because this is what you will need later to soak ladyfingers. This is something that you need for this recipe. You need a couple of ladyfingers, but we'll get back to that a bit later. At the moment, she's just cooking up that espresso. If you don't have espresso, you can just make very strong coffee. We'll leave it up to you of how strong you make that, but you need that for soaking the ladyfingers a little bit later. Okay, now Lou is actually starting to mix up that egg yolk and sugar mixture, and she's just using a whisk for that, and you can probably hear this in the background there. So you're really gonna go for that to really mix that thoroughly through. How long would you do that actually for?
Until getting firm, and then egg yolk is getting creamy white.
Right, so you probably haven't heard that, but basically what you're looking for some kind of like a creamy white texture, okay? So your egg yolks and the sugar will turn into that kind of white gooey mixture, and you will see it will become quite firm. And once you reach that, then you're done, and then you just have to put it into that water bath and just treat it for a little while to make sure that you kill all the germs. Okay, now Lou has just finished whisking it. That mixture, it has now reached that sought after consistency. It's very white and it's very creamy looking. You will know what we talk about. It is not that runny anymore. It's quite gooey, and now you put that into the water bath and just treat.
When you mix, you can see the little line.
Yes, right. Yeah. So it is quite. I wouldn't say tough, but it has a very nice consistency. It's not that runny, but quite gooey. And then you have to treat it in the water bath. Now, about 5 minutes after vigorously stirring that mixture in the hot water bath, the consistency will be, a bit more runny now and quite shiny. And what you then require to do is just put the whole thing into, an ice bath. I wouldn't say ice, but very cold water now. Now, obviously, not the actual mixture, so you just, put some cold water into the sink, for example, and make sure you have a plug, and then you put that container with your egg sugar mix into that sink, just to allow it to cool down a little bit. And then we are adding what, Lou? What are we adding now?
Not adding, just a different tiny cream whipped bowl.
Okay, so you add a bit of cream into an extra bowl now, And we're going to whip this up? Is that what we're going to do? Okay, so you're going to put some whipped cream actually into another bowl. Yeah, or any kind of cream. If it's not already whipped, you can whip it yourself by, again, using a whisk. And you will use that mixture to then put into your egg sugar mix. Later, yeah. Okay, and after whisking that cream for quite a while, it will actually now then turn into whipped cream, and it should have a very, thick consistency. Okay. If you put it upside down, it wouldn't actually come out at all. It's that thick. That's really what you're looking for. And how many milliliters of cream did you actually use? 200 milliliters of cream is absolutely sufficient for this portion of at least 4 people. Okay, I can actually see now Lou working at this mixture quite vigorously. So what I said before about don't mix it too hard, actually you should go absolutely mental, because that's what Lou is doing at the moment. It's quite surprising me actually. I thought you wouldn't have to do that, but she really goes for it. So, go for that kind of crazy stirring action. Yeah, she's just mixing it all together. The cream hasn't gone in there yet, but I'm sure it's going to come soon. Now, once you put the cream in there, would you continue stirring that vigorously?
No, the cream one is just...
Okay, yeah. So once you add the cream, then you just give it a light stir, okay? But this original mixture with the egg yolk and sugar plus the that cheese, which is called, I completely forgot, it's the mascarpone, exactly. You have to stir very, very rigorously, and then after you've done that, you add the whipped cream and then just slightly stir it in. Now at the end of all this stirring, you end up with a pudding-like, I would say, consistency. So it's not that thick now. It is actually it looks like yogurt, very nice and silky, very fluffy. And this is that done for now. Now what Lou is preparing is obviously the Ladyfingers, and she will start putting these Ladyfingers into that espresso or very strong coffee. Just dips them in there just once, very, very quickly, and then you have to put that into quite a big form, into some kind of container, and then you just have to do one layer after layer. So you start the first bottom layer with your Ladyfingers after you have quickly dunk them into that mix, and make sure that you don't dunk it too long, otherwise the whole thing becomes too soggy. In there and immediately out, that's quite important. So Lou is building her first layer of the tiramisu. Okay, so it's just Ladyfingers and coffee there at the bottom. So once you're done with this first layer, you will then add the mixture that you've just created and just finally spread this on top of the Ladyfingers until they're all completely covered. Okay, now this tiramisu that we're making here with the ingredients that we mentioned before, you will end up with something that has 3 layers of Ladyfingers actually. So that's quite a high one. You can obviously go, if you use a bigger dish, a bigger container, you might end up with 2 layers. Okay, so that's entirely up to you. So once you've put all this nicely, once you've spread it all on, you then go for the next layer, and again this will just be the Ladyfingers, quick dip in the coffee, and then you do your second layer. Now what you can hear in the background, that's not Lulu hitting her head against the door. What she's actually doing is she's using the container and she's just shaking it. I mean, she's dropping it slightly, and this just helps for the whole mixture to set nicely, for all the liquid to go in between the Ladyfingers and everything to be quite straight. Also removing some of the air pockets, so some of the air will disappear. And she's now onto the last layer already. That's quite quick. So she's just spread a second layer of that wonderful mascarpone egg, sugar, whipped cream mix. And now she puts on the last layer of the Ladyfingers, again soaking them very quickly into the espresso or very strong coffee. Now, Lou, you have just finished with your last layer of Ladyfingers, and you're now pouring the rest of that wonderful gooey mix on top of it. You're going to be nicely spreading it out, and well, then you're actually done. I mean, this was actually the making of a tiramisu in under 15 minutes. What you will now do is, once you have smoothed it all out, maybe gave it a bit of a whack as well to again make it all settle, The very important thing is you cannot eat this now straight away. Obviously, that's impossible. It's not going to taste nice at all. It really.
You cannot wait. You can.
Well, if you're a greedy bastard, absolutely you can do that. But what you should really be doing is you need to let it cool now. So you would have to put that mixture now into your fridge. And how long would you say a minimum?
At least 5 hours.
Yeah, at least 5 hours. You probably should do it overnight, to be honest with you. So if you do this in the evening, which is not going to take you very long, put it in the fridge and you're going to have the most wonderful breakfast in the morning, a wonderfully made tiramisu. Now what you need to do, once you remove it from the fridge, you obviously need to sprinkle some cocoa powder on top of that. Don't do that while you're just letting it cool, because if you do that, you just have a brown mass, and this should be always sprinkled on top very freshly. Absolutely. You can hear Lou there in the background just giving it a good old whack again for the air pockets to disappear and to just let it all run, all the liquid run around the ladyfingers. Okay, and then you're actually done. This is the making of tiramisu. Actually, I just realized, wasn't there some kind of alcohol in there as well? Is that where did you have to put that?
Amaretto into the. I normally put in a coffee.
Okay. So you can, to make this even nicer, and if you don't mind alcohol, it's always very nice to put a bit of an amaretto. I think about 3 tablespoons you put there before. Yeah. So you can put that into the coffee actually already. So when you dunk your ladyfingers in there, they will soak up the coffee plus the amaretto. And then you're actually done. This is the making of tiramisu.